فاصبر صبرا جميلا.
Also, the concept of reciting the Qur'an and the people who recite the Qur'an, the Qur'an. Is there a culture of Qur'an reciters? And are there rules of reciting the Qur'an? Is there a field of expertise, al-qira'ah or qira'at, that is beyond the jurisdiction of the Sunnah? We said this before. And many people, they think that. Is that the culture of reciting the Qur'an and the field of expertise of reciting the Qur'an is beyond the Sunnah. He says he's a muhaddith and he's a qari. So they have different rules. The qari he does certain things, he can say certain things, there's certain practices that they have, which there's no hadith needed for it. Because it's what the Qur'an do. And we've explained that that's wrong. That's what? That's wrong. The rulings of the Qur'an are based off of the hadith. Everyone understand this? What you can and cannot do as a reciter, what you should and shouldn't do as a reciter, is not beyond the reach of Bukhari and Muslim. And we've explained this before, the superiority of the sciences of hadith over all other sciences of Islam. That's the top and the best. And without hadith, there are no other sciences. Everyone understand this? There's no aqidah without hadith. Ahl hadith in the past were the followers of the Salaf As-Saalih. They were Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Everyone understand this? That's why they were called Ahl Hadith, Aqidatu Ashab al Hadith. The Qur'an and the different innovations that they make and the false practices that they have is because they feel or they think that the culture of reciting the Qur'an is what? Is different than the rulings of Bukhari and Muslim. That's wrong. So you may do something which is in Bukhari and Muslim, and a person of the Qur'an or a reciter, he may say, you can't do that. You can't recite a surah here that's there. And one verse or one surah you recited, Surah Al-Buruj. And in the second rak'ah you recited Surah Al-Baqarah. Someone may say, you can't do this. That's not good to do that. You should stay in order of the Mus'haf. And he's absolutely wrong. And he himself may do something which isn't found in the Qur'an and the Sunnah, such as saying Sadaqallahu al-Azim, or reciting the Qur'an together in one voice, etc. And you may say to him, is this Sunnah? Is it permissible? He says, Akhi, la, you don't understand, yani. This is well known among the Qur'an reciters. We do this. It's well known practice among us. As if it's a different ruling, a different legislation. Are you understand this? So what you can and cannot do regarding the Qur'an and its recitation, what you should and should not do with regards to the Qur'an and its recitation is only based off of what? The hadith, the sunnah, the legislation. And I cannot explain in words how important this principle is. And there are many innovations that have come and popped up and sprung up through not understanding this what? This principle. Not understanding this what? This principle. A perfect example of this, or a worldly manifestation, is Qur'an teachers. And how people mistreat Qur'an teachers. And oftentimes don't want to pay them. Or pay them a trifle, a measly amount of money. And they'll say that you're a Qur'an teacher. You're not supposed to take money. You can't have a salary. Because of the hadith, would you like a bow of fire? He who uses the Qur'an to eat with is not from us, so on and so forth. They'll bring these baseless, bogus hadiths, and in which they have their own culture that the Qur'an teacher should just be what? Balash, yani. Right? Majanan. In other words, without anything. But the actual hadiths in Bukhari and Muslim clearly support, Inna ahaqqa ma akhadtum alayhi ajran, kitab Allah. The thing that you deserve most to be paid for is what? It's the book of Allah. So the Prophet ﷺ told them. The thing which deserves the most ajr. Not it's permissible to take a reward for it. No, he says, Inna ahaqqa. The thing, if you want to get paid for anything, it should be what? For that Quran. Everybody understand this? Tahseen. Everybody clear on this? So this is a manifestation and how it goes to show you how worldly problems lead to not understanding this principle. The rules of the Quran are Bukhari, Muslim, Abu Dawood, Muwatta Malik, etc. That is the Quran culture. And what they choose to practice and what isn't that well known, what they really don't do, as long as in the boundaries of what? The Sunnah. So an example of this, students of Medina, it's well known, not all of them, but many of them, they wear their thobes high, trimmed at the middle of their shin. Right? Some even higher than that. That's the Sunnah, without question. And the hadith clearly supports that with regards to the izar of the believer, where it should be. That is the sunnah. That is the sunnah. That's Muhammad's sunnah. It has nothing to do with Salaf As-Saalih or being Salafi. That is Muhammad Sallallahu words. Izratul mu'min ila nisfi saqayhi. The izar of the believer is where? At the middle of his shank. But it's not obligatory. You don't have to have your thobe that high. You don't have to have it what? That high. It's not wajib. Now, how low can it go? Beneath the ball of the ankle or not? We know that it cannot go beneath the ball of the ankle. As the Messenger of Allah has also told us, that any part of the izar below the ankle is in the fire. And it has nothing to do with being Salafi. That's the Muhammad's words. That's what? Many people, they think it's just a special thing. That's hadith. That's Islam. Everybody clear on that? It's not no special exotic dawah to follow the words of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Everybody understand what I'm saying to you? But it's well known the students of Medina, many of them, this is their preference. And it has become a cultural norm to them. You go overseas, you get your thobe made, you have what? A high thobe. And if some people want to have it lower, that's also what? Fine, as long as it's not beneath the ball of the ankle. So the culture of those students is to have it what? High up. That's fine. So if the Qur'an, if they have a cultural, some things that they stick to and they become famous among them, it's in the boundaries of the sunnah, that's what? That's tayyib. This is what we do as Qur'an reciters. That's fine. But the moment it goes outside of that circle, it's a problem. And in the moment you have your own set of rules, just because it's the Qur'an and the Qur'an reciters, then that's what, Mukhtar? That's a mushkila. And that's what happens in what? Most cases. That's what happens what? Most cases. Everyone understand this? The muhaddithin, the people of hadith, they're well known for wearing henna in their beards. They would all put a henna in their beards, so on and so forth. And there's one person, or there's another group, let's say the scholars, once again, of the Qur'an. They says we don't like henna. Or we don't have no problem with it, but it's just all of our teachers all have what? Natural gray. It's fine. It's well known that the Qur'an reciters they don't like to use henna. It's not haram. It's not obligatory. Everyone understand this? But now we can sing, we can do this, and we can say this, and recite this so many times, and you have to say this every time you're finished. That's a what? That's a problem. And someone brings to you the dalil, and they say, no, you stick to what? Stick to hadith. We're a Qur'an. Now that's when the problem comes. Everybody clear on this? So the hadith, the legislation of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is dominant over all other fields and disciplines. We all clear on this? So is it permissible to recite more than one surah and a rak'ah or not? What the Qur'an do, what the imam of the masjid does, has nothing to do with the permissibility or the lack of permissibility in the what? In the hadith and the sunnah. Everyone understand this? Everybody clear on this or not? طيب خير إن شاء الله. Moving forward. حديث ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال أو عن أبي وائل